Hello, and welcome to Year of the Vampire. This week, we watched Subspecies.
I'm leaving that pause in by the way.
I'm still trying my hardest not to say today.
It was today though, technically.
I've explained that before, and you're all, no, it's the video of the week.
I mean, it is the video of the week, but you weren't. You weren't wrong, but
anyways, this movie was released by Moonlight Pictures.
Full Moon.
Full Moon Pictures. Good lord.
Yeah, if anyone's seen things like Puppet Master, Evil Bong, then you're familiar with. Oh, and Ginger Dead Man.
For real, they made those two?
Yeah.
God. Okay,
I mean,
to be fair, I love the Puppet Master series.
They're not quite as crap as the rest of their series are.
Where do we start with this?
The plot. What'd you think of the plot?
It was
PhD students going to Transylvania for their what is it called when you get when you have like a PhD project thing?
Traveling abroad?
I don't know. Their PhD project, which actually, did they even explain what they're getting a PhD in? I assumed it was some kind of like cultural anthropology or something.
They did. I don't remember the exact term for it. It was something complicated sounding, unlike the neighbor who was a zoologist or some shit. But they were there just to study the festival that was supposed to be happening, which did happen, and they were hardly present for it because vampire happened.
Hey, there's two vampires. Acting. What'd you think of the acting?
It was cheesy. And like, kind of bland. One of the blonde chicks, Lillian?
Yeah, Lillian. She was
annoying.
Yeah, like the entire first third of the movie, half her lines at least are just random just comments that she just decides to fucking make and just is kind of rude to these people.
Yeah, she just kind of comes off as that stereotypical foreigner tourist jerk.
Though to be fair, a lot of the locals came off as your stereotypical locals who don't like foreigners simply because they're foreigners.
Either way, it takes place in Transylvania. Big surprise.
Because vampires can't actually leave Transylvania.
I guess not. And the movie itself had a very strong influence from Nosferatu.
Did it though?
Yeah, the main bad vampire had those weird gangly arms. Every time you saw him, he had the freaking shadow thing happening, which was huge in the original Nosferatu.
Well, you're the one who's seen I still haven't seen the original one, and this is week 11?
Either way, it was done significantly worse than Nosferatu was.
What'd you think of the sound/music?
It sounded old, if that makes sense. The movie itself sounded like something you would hear more in the 60s or 70s.
Wasn't this movie from the 70s?
Was it?
Or the 80s?
I thought it was the 90s. I thought it was 91.
Oh, wait, maybe it was 91. I'm sorry, shit.
Either way.
Okay, yeah, so I guess it just looked and sounded old because it's full moon, so they don't spend a ton of money on their stuff.
They've done better movies, and I wish they would try harder with the majority, unlike the minority of the films. Better ways to say that, but...
Cinematography. What'd you think of the cinematography? I thought it was horrible. It looked like it was filmed with a freaking hand camera.
It really did, and
there didn't seem like there was any even attempt to kind of control the lighting in a lot of the outside scenes. Yeah, there was a lot of
natural lens flare, which is not like the digitalized ones you see nowadays. It's just
which is just as annoying, but
it's just like a bright blush.
Yeah, it created like a kind of whitish outline around the actors, and it was really distracting.
My favorite part were all the night scenes. You can't see me doing the quotations, but it was daytime, 90% of the movie. Despite them claiming numerous times it was nighttime, and they need to get inside because it's dark.
I thought they said they had to get inside before it got dark.
I mean, they said that a few
The point
times.
is, it didn't look like... It went from, early evening in one scene to just completely dark out, and they were still leaving They were still going back to the village they were in. I don't know how far that castle was supposed to be, but they walked there and back, so it couldn't be that far.
There's also just a few scenes where is really hard to keep track of time, where it almost feels like a day or two could have passed, and it's just...
Oh, you mean the scenes that were flip-flopping back and forth between the vampire doing something random and then the
Usually
girls doing
waking
something random?
Like, there was 3 separate times within a span of like 10 minutes where the vampire guy woke up and got out of his coffin, and they were still doing the same shit outside.
Yeah, so I was
like,
confused about that. Like, I'm not actually sure how much time was supposed to have passed in this movie.
God, I'm just trying to fathom how they managed to make.
I assumed it was supposed to be like a couple days.
Yeah,
4 more movies and a spin-off. And the most recent movie was from 2023.
For real?
Yeah, the 5th one is from 2023.
It's like 30 years later. Okay.
They just really wanted this back.
Let's talk about the special effects. There's not a lot of it, but the ones that were there were confusing.
You mean the little gremlin guys, right?
The gremlin guys, a quarter of the time seemed like they could have been claymation looking things, stop motion possibly, but
maybe
a lot of it looked really badly CG'd, and it stuck out horribly.
I actually thought they were big. They would have been bigger at first. But it turns out they're like the size of a freaking action figure.
Yeah, they're super tiny.
So I don't see how they were supposed to be threatening or useful. Which they weren't really useful. They didn't do anything.
No, that's
they didn't leave. Like, they were in like 4 scenes and never left the castle.
You see them on the cover.
Yeah, you can see them right there.
But the thing is, yeah, they don't do anything important in the movie. All of them were useless parts that the vampire guy himself could have done if he wasn't lazy. Like, they flipped a switch. They moved the weird thing he's holding in the hand.
They hit one of the characters with a net.
Bloodstone.
Yeah, the bloodstone. The stone that like literally just magically bleeds the blood of saints.
Yeah, so
somehow. Like, does it just have infinite blood? I don't think they explained it beyond that it bleeds. It has the blood of saints.
Yeah, they didn't really explain it too much, and I have a feeling it's going to become even more important in the later movies. Well, if possible.
Well, fortunately, we're not going to be watching the later movies.
I just know one of the sequels is called Bloodstone.
Yeah, it's the second one.
Oh, good lord. It's just a direct continuation. You know what?
So, you would not suggest this movie?
There was nothing really entertaining or even memorable about this movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest it either. I thought this one was just really boring.
We could skip this one.